Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the SH Monsterarts Shin Godzilla Night Combat version. Now, this version of Godzilla comes from the 2016 film Shin Godzilla, which, in my opinion, is the best Godzilla movie to come out since the original 1954 film. First of all, let me just say, the original 1954 film is objectively the best Godzilla movie. Sorry, I don't make the rules, right? I'm just here presenting the facts, so don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, no, but Shin Godzilla, is great because it takes elements from the original 1954 film, but it also does a lot of, original things with that concept. Mainly with Godzilla himself. The portrayal of Godzilla here in Shin Godzilla is very different from a lot of, movies that have come before, but it's still respectful. It still feels true to Godzilla, and it overall just, respects the source material. It's not like with the 1998 Godzilla movie where they did their own thing, but they had no respect for the source material whatsoever, and it just came out to be people say one of the worst Godzilla movies. And to be fair, I haven't seen that movie in a while, so I can't really give you my opinions on it. But going back to Shin Godzilla, they do their own thing, but they also respect the source material, or they respect everything that has come before. So yeah, and that just creates just this beautiful, very nice portrayal of the character. It's different, but it still fits Godzilla. So yeah, and overall, there's just a lot of other things I like about Shin Godzilla too. I like the cinematography in the movie is great. I love the soundtrack, even if some of the tracks are reused from older Godzilla movies. The new stuff is still very good. The effects, I think, look good. And, yeah, overall, Shin Godzilla, in my opinion, is a phenomenal movie. And if you haven't seen it, well, please do, because, like I said, it is a phenomenal movie. So, yeah. Anyway, really quick, I just want to say, this figure here, or not this specific figure, but, the original, the release of this figure is, it means a lot to me. It's very, nostalgic to me. It's not even 10 years old. Yeah, I know, but 2016 was quite a mood for me. The fall and winter of 2016 was a complete mood because that's when I saw Shin Godzilla in theaters, and I don't know why 2016, the fall and winter of 2016, that was just a magical time for me growing up. I don't know why, but something about that time of the year and 2016 as a whole, I don't know, very fond memories of that fall and winter. So yeah, to be fair, I feel like a lot of that is because of, I saw the Shin Godzilla in theaters, but I digress. So, yeah. Anyway, I've been rambling on for far too long. Let's just get into this review. Like usual, to start this review, we'll take a look at the paint. And the painting on this figure is actually really cool, I think. So, all the parts of this figure are casted in a transparent red, and there's just a lot of black painted over most of it. And I think, if you put a light behind it, you can see, the dorsal plates are lighting up, and even, the neck there. And even the tail you can see. It kind of lights up like that. So you can get some, really cool effects when, doing photography with this guy, and I think that's really cool. But, anyway, taking a closer look, as I mentioned, there's a lot of black painted over this, which does look nice. I know the original release was, not really liked very much because it was very, the painting was very sloppy. But the painting here is a lot better from that original release, So, yeah, all the blacks and whatnot are painted very nicely. Going to the head here, we can see that the eyes are painted white with black pupils. Mine are symmetrical for the most part, though I have seen cases of this figure where the eyes aren't symmetrical. So if you are going to pick up this guy, then beware of that, because, it might turn out fine, but might not turn out fine. It's like Russian roulette. You never know what you're going to get, but I digress. Anyway, the inside of the mouth is actually painted a metallic red, which I think looks really cool. And the teeth here are painted a nice, brownish, whitish color, which I've heard people complain about the teeth on this guy. And to be fair, the teeth could have been better, but you look at, Shin Godzilla, you look at the head design, so trying to translate that as far as, a tiny, figure like this, this is not a small figure, but I mean, like, the head is relatively small, so trying to translate that into something like this, I can imagine would be very difficult to do. But imagine trying to paint that, too. You know, like, yeah, I think the teeth could have been better, but, you know, for what they are, I still think they look fine. But I digress. Anyway, the fingernails here are painted a nice brownish yellowish color as well. I think they look pretty nice. And also the toenails, they again, this nice whitish brownish color, which again, I just think that looks nice. And that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. You know, like, the teeth could have been a little better, but for the most part, I think the painting on this figure looks great. You know, I really like the transparent plastic use on this figure. Really cool. Again, you can get some really cool effects when, like, doing photography and whatnot. But, yeah. Overall, the painting on this figure, I think, is pretty good. So the painting here, I'd say definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the articulation. And in my opinion, I think the articulation here is very good. Warning, this figure is pretty much entirely ball joints, so expect me to say that a lot during this part of the video, so there's your warning there. But anyway, starting off with the head here, the upper jaw can open like so, and the bottom jaw can open a little bit like so. So yeah, very similar to the Jurassic World toys, like all the T-Rex toys and whatnot, like the, what is it, the Super Colossal, or the Colossal, I don't know, but the really big one, you know what I'm talking about, if you're into Jurassic World or Park or anything like that. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, but both these joints are ball joints. Ball joint at the middle of the neck here, and a ball joint at the base of the neck here as well. We have two ball joints in the waist, so he can bend over like so. This part of the arm here is on a ball joint. There's a bend at the elbow here, and I'm pretty sure that's a ball joint too, yep. And the wrists are on ball joints as well. One thing to point out, at least on mine, this arm, you can get close to the body and have it look like, you know, how it does in the movie, but this arm kind of sticks out more than it should, and I don't really know, like, how to fix that. You know, like, I don't want to break this guy or anything like that, but I even, like, popped this bit off, and still I couldn't really figure it out, so if you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments below. I genuinely want to know how to fix that, but I digress. Anyway, the legs are on ball joints. There's a bend at the knee, or both knees, I should say. A ball joint in the ankle here. And then we move on to the tail. And the tail here, this thing is just entirely ball joints. Just a huge segmented, you know, tail with a lot of joints. And it's nice and tight, so it feels, you know, good to, like, bend around and whatnot. I know with the original release, I know, this tail was actually very loose and couldn't really hold a pose like this, but I can confirm that the joints on this figure's tail are very nice and tight. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about that when it comes to this figure. So, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. And the articulation here, I think, is really cool. I think all the joints are nice and tight. And besides my arm being a little stuck here, yeah, the articulation on this figure is just overall very solid. So, yeah, the articulation here, I'd say definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure, I think, looks very nice, you know. I think the body looks great, the tail looks amazing, and overall, like, all the proportions and everything, I think look great, and overall, I think, this figure is about, like, 95% accurate to, you know, the actual movie itself. I say 95% because the head here is not entirely accurate to, the movie. You know, I'll put up a picture on the screen right now. The head still looks nice, and like I said this before, like, you don't have to have an accurate sculpt in order for it to look nice. Like, you can do your own thing and, have, the figure look nice, and I think, the head here, even though it's not accurate, I still think it looks nice, you know? Um, it does look a little weird when you close the mouth like that, but still though, like, it doesn't look terrible or anything like that. So yeah, besides the head not being entirely accurate, the sculpting on this figure is still very good, so overall, I'd say the sculpting here definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing on this figure is pretty phenomenal, so let's take a closer look at that. So, starting off at the head here, we can see all the bumps and whatnot in the face here are detailed very nicely defined. And even the inside of the mouth here, the detailing is very nice, very detailed, and overall, it just looks very good. The teeth could have been detailed a little better, but again, like I said earlier, like the actual design of like Shin Godzilla, like the teeth, like that wouldn't translate easily into a small scale like this. But I digress. Anyway, the detailing on the neck here looks very nice. All of the bits of bit on the neck here, like the gills, kinda. I don't know, but still, the detailing here looks nice, and overall, all of like the cracks and like scars in the skin here just detailed beautifully. And the chest here, oh my god, the chest is detailed very nicely. Overall, just like all the scarring throughout, this looks really good. The arms here, again, just a lot of really nice detailing. All of the creases in the skin and all the bits of muscle showing. It just looks great, man. And even like the side of the body here, again, just a lot of really nice detailing here. Everything is just beautifully defined here, excuse me. And even the legs here, oh my god, the legs look amazing. Just a lot of really nice detailing here. Very nicely defined. A lot of really nice musculature here and all of the bits of scarring here. It just looks great. Like, I know, like, Monsterarts, they usually do a really good job with the detailing, but still, like, this figure just looks really nice as far as the detailing goes. And even in the legs here, like I said, a lot of great musculature and all of the wrinkles and creases and whatnot. Just looks very good. And also the dorsal plates have a very nice bit of detailing here as well. Everything here is just very nicely defined, and overall, like, it just looks good. And even this bit here has a lot of nice detailing as well. Like, yeah, this gives the figure a very noticeable gap, but like, still, that is some very nice detailing there. But I digress. Anyway, going to the tail here, again, just a lot of really nice detailing here. All of the bits of scarring throughout the tail and all of the musculature and all the creases and everything like that. It's just detailed very nicely throughout, and even the little spikes here look nice. And lastly, I want to talk about the end of his tail. Because the thing with Shin Godzilla is that the end of his tail is actually like a separate organism, which I think is really cool. They didn't really do a whole lot with that in the movie, which a little disappointing. But still, though, the detailing here, just looks excuse me, just looks very good. The like bits of like bone here, it just looks really nice, and you can tell like. You can't really tell because of the transparent plastic, but there is like a face at the end of his tail. Again, I'll put up a better picture on screen, but yeah, you can see a little bit like the mouth there, but still, this part of the tail is supposed to be like a separate organism, and it just, yeah, the detailing here just looks very good. It's very well replicated here. So yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the detailing on this figure. And the detailing on this figure, yeah, the detailing here is phenomenal. So the detailing here, I'd say, definitely gets a pass. Now we'll do some size comparisons. Here we have the NECA Shin Godzilla. Here we have the Bandai Movie Monster Series Shin Godzilla. Here we have this little Bandai Candy Shin Godzilla. I forget what this guy's called exactly, but he is a smaller Shin Godzilla Bandai vinyl that I have. Can you tell I love Shin Godzilla? I don't know if that was clear or not, but anyway, of course, to end this size comparison, here we have some hand sanitizer, and here is Dr. Billy Grant. So at the end of the day, should you get this figure? I'd say yes. I know people online kind of complain about the painting on this guy, and I will admit, the teeth could have been a little cleaner. And the eyes, even though mine are mostly symmetrical, I know some people who have gotten googly eyes as far as, like, painting in the eyes go, which is a shame. That Russian roulette thing I don't think is a good thing to have when it comes to figures like this. I think, Bandai's quality control needs to be improved, but overall, this is still a very nice figure. Like, the painting that is here that isn't messed up, I think looks great. The articulation is very solid. The sculpting, isn't 100% accurate, but still looks very good, and the detailing is absolutely phenomenal. So, yes, I do recommend that you pick up this guy, because this figure is very good. Though do be careful, because, like I said, the paint could be a little off with yours, so just be aware of that. As far as price tags go, I paid about, like, $130 for this guy. I think he's cheaper. I'm not 100% sure. I paid for the so I got this guy from Awesome Collector, and they have an option where you can buy, like, the American release, or you can buy the Japanese release, and I actually bought the Japanese release of this guy. So yeah, so he was a little more expensive, but again, I don't like. I think the American price is like 115 or something like that. I don't know. Um, I do think that's a little high. I think this guy should be closer to like $80 to $90. Maybe not quite like 100, because this is actually a big figure. He's actually bigger than a lot of other Monsterarts figures. So I can understand the higher price tag, but I still think the price tag is a little too high. And especially with, like, the whole Russian roulette thing, because, like, you can, like, spend a lot of money on this guy, and the painting, like, for the eyes could be, kind of messed up, which is not good. It's not good for a over $100 figure like this. But if you do get your figure in and it has no problems at all, then honestly, that's great, because overall, I do think that this is a very solid figure, and I definitely recommend that you pick him up. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.